I'm just a realist. When this God puts him or her or itself in a position where I can examine this God, then I will tell you whether or not I believe or disbelieve in that God. Until then, don't call me an atheist, because, well, you will call me an atheist anyway. But anyway, I neither believe or disbelieve. Atheist, and that's not my subject. I'm wasting time talking about that. But anyway, atheist, there's no such thing. It's unnatural to believe in some God. It's unnatural. You shouldn't believe in that which you cannot see, feel, and touch, and have no real interaction with. You keep talking about this God. None of you have ever met this God in person. At no time. And many of the people, even in your religious teachings, never met this God either. So I don't know why you keep talking about something that none of you have actually had your hands on or interacted with. You pretend you do, but you can't show nobody that you really actually met the God, that you actually met Hillary Clinton or whatever, or Bill Clinton or Obama, whomever y'all tripping off of. But I do want to talk about this person in religious scriptures that we know of as Jesus. And this Jesus is given the title Christ. As far as I'm concerned, Jesus never existed. I have no evidence to show that this person called Jesus ever existed. However, that's not what I'm going to talk about today. I'm going to talk about the attributes of a Jesus. It makes no difference whether Jesus actually existed or not. The attributes that this Jesus is supposed to have, that's a reality. Those are things that can be exhibited by myself, you, or any other human being on this planet. And these attributes actually are good. This type of behavior is actually good. Jesus was a forgiving person. Jesus was or is a loving person, forgiving person, honest and just and fair, sincere. All these things. This is why, or makes Jesus the Son of God. And that's wonderful. This Jesus showcased high moral behavior. What is morality? What is morals? It's very simple. I don't know what your definition is, but morality is very simple. Having high moral behavior is nothing but exhibiting behaviors and actions that benefit you or society. That's having high morals. Smoking cigarettes do not benefit you. As you know, cigarettes, they mess up your teeth, cause cancer in your mouth, cause cancer in your lungs. Drinking alcohol is a detriment to you. Being a whoremonger is a detriment to you as an individual and society, because women should not be treated like prostitutes. No woman should be put in that position to be like that. So morality is nothing but the behaviors that benefit an individual and society. You know, so this Jesus also is given a title, because that's not his name, but this Jesus is given this title called Christ. And Christ simply means the anointed one. And since we all are supposed to be the children of God, why can't all of us be anointed? To do what? To exhibit high moral character that benefit individual and society. Because if you have high moral character, then you don't have nothing to worry about the wrath of God, because you're doing exactly what this God wants you to do by having high moral character, or what they call being a righteous person. Now, our problem is, since we don't view ourselves as anointed, then we seek to want to follow somebody we believe is anointed. Somebody we believe is in representation of the Jesus and these attributes. And you may find this in small churches and synagogues and mosques across the country and around the world, in small places. But when it comes to large congregations, multi-million-dollar churches and mosques, you're not going to see a whole lot of this. These people are supposed to represent the Jesus. These people are supposed to represent righteous behavior. You're not going to see a whole lot of that. But you are going to follow them because they allow you to have low moral behavior that is a detriment to yourself as an individual and society itself. And they don't care if you have a low moral character, because they're using this Jesus in order so they can enjoy the material things of a world and a life that your God is supposed to and want to destroy. They are supposed to be in the world, but not of this world. This Jesus, this Christ, you did not see, or there's nothing written about Jesus Christ, whereas he was decked with silver and gold and running around and wanting to be treated like royalty. Very humble person. And he lived an impoverished lifestyle. But you have these ministers and these preachers and these reverends, and all of them, especially in these mega churches, none of them is thinking about living the life of a poor man. Buy me a multi-million-dollar jet. They have a house in every state in the union. This Jesus person had enemies. You're supposed to be following the example, following the footsteps and the example of this person called Jesus Christ. Jesus had a lot of enemies. In fact, the Jesus enemies were so abundant that they eventually crucified him and put him on a cross. Thus, y'all say that he died for your sins. So how do you repay Jesus for dying for your sins? You go out and gamble. You have out of wedlock children. You're drinking, you smoking, and you cuss like a sailor. You have low moral behavior because you're following behind somebody that's giving you the illusion of a behavior to make you feel as though you are accepted by Jesus Christ and his Father, but you can also be of low moral behavior. You can be of the unrighteous. You can have your cake and eat it too. That's not how it works, people. And this is coming from somebody who does not acknowledge a God. I understand the benefits from high moral behavior that benefit individual and society. That what you call righteous behavior. It's very ironic that a person who does not believe in Jesus, that does not acknowledge God, that they would embrace and act upon and be more righteous and have more high moral character than those who make the claim that they are followers of Jesus. Jesus was a person that was able to bring before you miracles. You don't, the only miracle that believers in Jesus do nowadays is a miracle they make it to church. That's the only miracle. They really, see, y'all a fraud, you're fake. Then you have the nerve to come to somebody like me and talk all that Jesus this and Jesus Christ and God do. You don't even believe it yourself. And you know that you're following people who are nothing but wolves in sheep's clothing. People who are nothing but wolves pretending they are like Christ. Because you are fake. Y'all hypocrites. And that's why you tolerate that. And you make these people rich. But you will not support the preacher and the imam and all of those who are really striving to follow the doctrine. Because when you fall up under the sound of their voice, they make you feel a little guilty because you know that you're a hypocrite and you know that you're fake and you're not doing everything that you can in order to be like Christ. And there's nothing wrong with being like Christ. Your problem is you love this world. You love the cigarettes and the porn and the vodka and the whoremongering and the gambling and all the stuff and the sport and the play, all the madness of this world. You have a love for it. And you love evil more than you do Jesus. But you want to hold on to Jesus because if you think that you hold on to it, you're scared that you might go to hell. If it was not for that fear, you wouldn't talk about Jesus at all because y'all not real. And that's one of the number one reasons why people don't like the reality is temple on earth. Because I got to bring it real. I have a lot to cover in just a few minutes. Just want to put down some basic thinking process. And I hope that you can understand where I am coming from. Some of you may say, brother, where are you getting all this stuff that you're talking about? Where are you getting all this stuff from? May I say this to you? In a story called The Wizard of Oz, and as you know, those of you who are familiar with that little story, Dorothy was blown out of her reality and taken to a place. What was the name of that place? Anyway, she went looking for the Oz. And this person called the Oz turned out to be an ordinary person, did not have no great powers or nothing like that. You should sort of compare that to the way that we believe in God. Since you haven't actually met God, how do you know that God is not just somebody, just like the Oz, the Wizard of Oz? Oh, she went to Oz and she went to meet the wizard. So in our case, replace the wizard with God. When Dorothy finally met the wizard, he turned out to be just an ordinary fellow. And Dorothy also found that she could have went home anytime she wanted to. She always had the power. The only thing she had to do was click her heels. In your religious teaching, we are taught, especially coming from the Christian point of view, we are taught that the kingdom of heaven is in you. So if the kingdom of heaven is in you, and the only thing we have to do if we are in hell is click our heels, then why aren't you clicking your heels? Why aren't you looking inside yourself so that self can bring forth heaven? Because it's always have been in you. So when you ask me, where am I getting all this stuff from? Unusual talk. Because I have clicked my heels and I have looked within myself, because the kingdom of heaven is in me. So I don't have to look to Dr. King or Marcus Garvey or Dr. Henry Clark or ancient Egyptians. The kingdom of heaven is in me. My brief talk with you for these few moments is soul power versus black power. Black power versus soul power. Which one is best for these who are the descendants of slaves, having dark skin, born in America? Which is best for you? I'm not going to spend a lot of time about black power. We are familiar with black power. You can go all over the internet and folks talking about black power this and pro-black this. We know all about that. And there is no specific consensus about exactly what that is. But basically, I guess it would be just the empowerment of dark-skinned people, you know, in media, in land ownership, business, and education, and so forth. Independence. That's fine and dandy. However, I'm telling us that soul power is better for you and me. And I know some of you don't want me to give you a label or a description or a name. I did not make this up. This is something that the descendants of slaves born in America, having dark skin, called ourselves in the 60s and 70s. And it is quite funny to me that the enemy would make sure and take an action against us calling ourselves the people of soul. So the enemy destroyed soul music and made it R&B, rhythm and blues or whatever. But you do remember when James Brown was the godfather of soul. Aretha Franklin is the queen of soul, Soul Train. Brother, we would give ourselves, hey man, give me 5 on the black hand side, in the hole. Remember that? You got soul. The racists told us that we did not have soul, that we were animals. But we were different. Even though we were in slavery, no matter what the struggle is, something about us still kept us alive. It kept us alive because we are the essence of life. Calling yourself black is all right. But calling yourself a member of the people or the tribe of soul is more spectacular, because soul people are melanated. But soul people are the essence of life. So you are more than melanin. You are more than black. You are more than having origins upon a continent. We were called by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. We were made deaf, dumb, and blind, mentally dead. So if we are dead, isn't it logical that if you want to be brought back from the dead, that the soul, speaking from a religious point of view, that the soul must be brought back to the body? And when the body accepts the soul, then it becomes alive. Soul is the essence of life. We are life. We are melanated, but we are life. We are melanated life. We are the people of soul. We are much more than that. We represent life itself. There is no other melanated, dark-skinned people on the planet. When we say people of soul, there is only one person or people that can come to mind, and that is we who are the descendants of slaves born in America, having dark skin. During the 60s and 70s, we were beginning to find our own identity. Black is an identity created by races. African is an identity created by races. There are no dark-skinned people on this planet that call themselves black or African prior to the appearance of the pink racist Caucasian people. And I have brought to you and told you that the soul is not a spirit. The soul is only your brain. And the brain is what makes you alive. You take the brain away and the body, although it may not be physically dead, it will be in a dead-like state because everything centers around the brain. The brain is what makes or gives us soul. And I was listening to our brother Farah Allah, and he talks about all these different things, shape-shifting and these medical, physical things, whatever. None of it is possible without the brain. None of it. Everything centered around the brain because the brain is life. The brain is your soul. It is life itself. Why wouldn't you want to be called, and you did call yourself soul brothers and sisters? And when you call yourself soul brothers and sisters, you take yourself up out of the racism. But when you say that you're melanated, when you call yourself black, the only thing you've done is replace black with melanated, meaning the same thing. You hook on skin color supremacy. Melanin in and of itself cannot make you alive. If you take the brain away, if you take the soul away, melanin can't do nothing at all. So you black, but you have no soul. You don't have, that means you don't have a brain. And if you don't have a brain, that means you can't think. And these who are the descendants of slaves born in America, you have a problem with thinking. Because if you was actually thinking, then you could accept and embrace reality. But since you're not thinking, and you cannot think properly because you don't have proper use of your brain, then you accept fairy tales and delusions, plagiarism and fabrication and the manufacturing theology that many of these people present to us. You accept that as some reality, as a child would accept the telling of a Santa Claus story. And that's what you have done all over this planet. But the kingdom of heaven is not a place of fantasy and fiction. The kingdom of heaven should be a place of the acceptance and embrace of ourselves to reality. All these make-believe, fiction, fantasy, beliefs and things, until they become a reality, that's exactly the way that we should see them. And many of the things, metaphysicals, things, and all this astral projection, all those things is wonderful, but they are not in our reality because we don't have proper use of our brain. There's so much that our brain can do, but because we're living really lower than the level of beasts, we can only talk about these things. but we can't be about it. So you waste your time going to lectures hearing about shape-shifting and astral projection and all this stuff that requires a brain that is working properly. You can't do it, just talk about it. Just like a person can talk about basketball, but they can't play. They can't do it. I know all about basketball. Yeah, you would rather hear that talk coming from somebody that play the game, not only talk about it, but they can play the game. It makes no sense. So it's entertaining, and you want to be entertained because you don't want to face the reality of your oppression. So you can go hear all this metaphysical, astral projection, and high science type stuff, so that you will forget that as you get in your car because of a traffic ticket, a racist will blow you away, and it's justifiable homicide. Get your soul back. Begin to live. Life is more than thinking I'm better because I have some melanin. Melanin does not mean anything when you're a damn fool. Means nothing. It means nothing when you're laying in a coffin. Let us bring ourselves back to life and get the soul back into your body. I just want to bring something to our attention that make us say, make you think a little bit. I wish to respond to those who keep saying that y'all ain't no victim. Y'all black folks y'all ain't no victim. Well, first of all, we need to educate ourselves on what a victim is. And I did make a victim. I did make a video called "Fool, Black People Are Victims." Understand what a victim is and stop listening to those who would benefit from the fact that you don't view yourself as a victim. Because as long as you don't view yourself as a victim, and you and I really are, they don't have to accept responsibility and make proper choices. Let me say this to us. There was a scene in the 1978 movie series. I believe it's 1978. It was called a film called Shaka Zulu. And Shaka Zulu was speaking to one of the Caucasian persons that was, what could I say? They were trying to start a colony somewhere in the vicinity of the Zulu nation. So they had to deal with Shaka, the Zulu nation. And Shaka said to this Caucasian guy, "How do you trap a monkey? Do you, out there in TV land, do you know how to trap a monkey?" Well, this is how you trap a monkey. You take some bait and you put that bait in a hole, a banana, some type of piece of fruit or whatever, something that the monkey likes. Now you got to listen to what I'm telling you. What is bait? A bait is something that whatever you're trying to trap, they like it. But there's a catch to the bait. The bait is used in order to trick the victim so they could be trapped. Understand this. And in the case of the monkey, it could be, like I said, a piece of fruit or whatever that the monkey likes, or something shiny. Monkeys like shiny objects. So what happens is you put this bait in a hole that is small, is so small that when the monkey makes a fist, the monkey can't get his hand out of the hole. However, if the monkey don't make a fist, the monkey's hand can come straight out of the hole. So you have the monkey that sees the bait, goes to the hole, put the paws or hand in the hole, grabs the bait, and then the monkey is trapped. But you may say, wait a minute, what? How is that possible? Because the only thing the monkey got to do is let go of the bait, because the monkey's hand, if it's not bunched up like a fist, can just come out of the hole. That's the problem. That's why the monkey gets trapped. The monkey gets trapped because the monkey grabs the bait, and in order to grab the bait, you must make a fist-like posture in the hand, but the monkey will not let go of the bait. And the monkey will not let go of the bait because of greed. That's what they said in the movie. The monkey gets trapped because of greed. The monkey gets trapped because the monkey, oh wow. Just thinking about this. The monkey gets trapped because of greed. The monkey gets trapped because the monkey is trying to get something it's not supposed to have. Woo! Tell me, what is it? What label besides nigger, coon, sambo, and shine and all that stuff? What degrading name that the racists love to call the descendants of slaves born in America having dark skin? What is it that they like to call you and me? They like to call us apes. They like to call us monkeys. How do you trap a monkey? Give it some bait that the monkey likes. What do you like, monkey? I like Jordan shoes. What do you like, monkey? I like to hear false promises from pink people. They have not changed going on 500 years, but it seems as though they are going to change. And they keep telling us things are going to get better and we're working on it. We love false promises. What do you love, black man and woman? I love interracial relationships because that proves and shows that things are getting better. I got me a Caucasian woman on my arm. I got me a Caucasian man because they understand me, my own people. So, the bait. I got a lot of money. I got a good job. I have me a beautiful education, which equates to a lot of money in my pocket. I go to church. every Sunday. I might go Monday and Wednesday or whatever. So I can listen to the preacher that gives me false hope. These are the things that the Negro, so-called Negro in America, that's what we like. How do you trap a monkey? You got to trap the monkey. You got to have something that the monkey like. Don't put the Reality's Temple video in the hole. The monkey don't want that. And the monkey will grab that and let that go quick. Because the monkey don't like reality. Give me some Jesus. Give me some Muhammad. Give me some more Science Temple. Give me some comedic metaphysical stuff. Give me something that I like. How do you trap a monkey? You got to have the right bait. How do you trap a monkey? Monkeys like something shiny. Look at my brand new car. It's nice and waxed. Something shiny. Look, I got diamonds, gold, silver. How do you trap a monkey? With the right bait. Give them something they like. Monkeys like things that's shiny. And whenever you can trap somebody, whether it is a human being or an animal or an insect, whenever you can trap somebody, something, it becomes a victim. When you go fishing and put that bait on that line and you put that hook through that worm and throw it in the water, the fish that you catch is your victim. When you sell sovereignty to people, knowing damn well they are not sovereign, they become your victim. But the person becomes trapped in this mindset and believe the lie that you told them. That's victimization. They become a victim. They are trapped. So we have been lied to, given bait that we like, something shiny, cars and diamonds and gold, $1 million record deals and basketball deals and living fancy houses. That's the trap. And whenever you trap, you become a victim. Because you really aren't the beneficiary. None of this really benefits you. No matter how many cars you have, how many diamonds and gold, all these things that you surround yourself with, and the Caucasian girlfriend and boyfriend, whatever the monkey surrounds himself with means nothing, because the monkey is trapped. The monkey is a victim. And the monkey will be used for the purpose of the one that set the trap. It's as simple as that. How do you trap a monkey? How do you trap an ape? Who is called an ape and a monkey? But it makes no difference. You have to have the right bait. And the monkey gets trapped. The monkey won't, because the monkey won't let go. Because of greed. Because the monkey, wow, I could say this over and over again. Because the monkey is trying to hold on to something it's not supposed to have. You're not supposed to be living with these people. You're not supposed to be marrying these people. You're not supposed to be loving these people. You're not supposed to be loving this country. You are trapped. You are a monkey in a trap, trying to have something that you're not supposed to have. But it's not a deadly trap. The only thing you have to do, the only thing the monkey had to do is let go of the bait and easily get out of the trap. So the descendants of slaves born in America, it seems as though we are in a deep, complex trap, but it's not. The only thing you have to do, brothers and sisters of soul, is just let it go. The scriptures talk about the making of a new heaven and earth, and the former things shall pass away. But that cannot happen. The new heaven and the new earth cannot come into existence until you get out of the trap and let all this stuff that y'all cloud your head up with, you gotta let it go. But you won't. But until you do let those things go, you and the monkey will be in the same condition, and you will be a victim forever. Is that what you want? Is that what you want to continue to pass down to your children? And they never experience what real freedom is because you are in love with something shiny. Okay, let me get comfortable here real quick. In the name of my ancestors, peace forever and always, and welcome to another edition of what I call the Realities Temple on Earth Internet Ministry. I am the gatekeeper of this program, known here on social media. I am known on social media as the mighty, mighty, mighty Angel Snub Nub 7, your soul brother number 1, and friend Taalik Ibn'rad. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I want to send this message. Ooh, so tongue-tied. I guess that's because I really don't feel like making videos, but I have the time, and I just want to, and I'm going to get through this. So just bear with me. Alrighty then. I want to send this message to those who always and keep telling us, and who is the us? The us are the people of soul, the descendants of slaves, born in America, having dark skin. They keep telling us when we bring up the subject of American slavery, of black people, dark-skinned people, they keep telling us, get over it, get over it. Now, this is ironic, and it's very funny to me that the same group of people that would tell you, get over it, that was a long time ago, get over it, but they keep telling you about their hurt and pain. 9/11, Pearl Harbor, Pan Am Flight 47, whatever that plane was. But they can keep telling you about their tragedy, Hurricane Super Sandy, and all this other stuff that affects them. They can talk about that all day long. That was a long time ago. 24 hours can be a long time ago. 2 minutes can be a long time ago. If you are a fly and your lifespan is only 3 to 6 weeks, 20 minutes is a long time ago. It's good for us to sit back and feel sorry for you and cry. Sandy Hook, those children, basically I guess it was a bunch of Caucasian children got all shot up. Black man didn't do that. Right? So it's really a tragedy. You would love to blame a black man or dark-skinned person that shot up those children. But it was one of your own. It's a tragedy. Sandy Hook. And with all these other things that happened to you. Oh, just get over it. It's a double standard. Cry for Caucasian people and you're hurt and pain. Oh, I'm flooding in Louisiana. I'm losing everything. Cry for you. But when it comes to dark-skinned people, oh, that was a long time ago. Oh, pull up your britches. Be a man. So this is what I say to them. Kiss my black. The hell with them. Let me tell you something about trauma. Let me tell you something about abuse and exploitation. As many of you know, I was unjustly incarcerated in a mental facility. So for 10 years, I was always surrounded by people who were going through trauma. They were going through and suffering from the actions of exploitation and abuse. There was a man. It was a Caucasian man. He was some type of a scientist. I don't know how he ended up in the United States, but he was a physicist or something to that effect from Russia. And sometimes you would see him with all these equations and things. And I asked this guy, man, you a brilliant mathematician, whatever it is that you do. Why are you here? The reason why he was in the mental institution was because he had problems dealing with the death of his wife. He could not get over it. In fact, speaking of that, I had an uncle, a grand uncle, who was very prosperous and doing very well in life. But when he lost his wife, the next thing you know, he's a drunkard on the street. Many people, when your wife passes away, your husband passes away, you have the death of a child or even the death of a pet. Many of us, we will grieve and we will cry, but we will in time heal from that loss and continue to try to live our life in whatever a normal manner is supposed to be. But there are those that react differently. They fall apart. They can't handle the death of their spouse, their children, husband, or other relative or parent. There are women who get raped. Countless rapes happen in the United States. Many women, I'm not going to say they get over it, but they are able to function, whereas they might look normal to you and me. They never forget the rape. Then there are women who will hate men, have a fear of men, and they never get over the rape. You have people, and I was watching this program where they were saying that 22 military people that were in the armed services in this nation, 22 a day, 22 a day, they commit suicide from being in the military. Then you have countless people abused as a child, beat up, abused by a spouse, domestic abuse, and all this stuff is going on all the time. Many people are able to function after going through such a thing. But again, there are countless who they cannot do it. Who are you, you bastard? Who am I to tell a person who has been raped, who has lost their best friend, their husband and wife, or a child? Who am I to tell them to get over it? You have some nerve, and you can't even get over it yourself. Running around here telling your stories about how you suffering and how bad you feel. Then we have a people. Now, we're not talking about individuals. Let me say something about myself. When I first got out of the nut house, I was allowed to go get a job. But I could not cross state lines. But the job that I had sometimes required that I go across state lines, and I did it. But I was scared because I knew I would get in trouble because I knew I wasn't supposed to be crossing state lines. Even after I became free, don't you know, it was a long time. I was afraid to cross state lines. People would be riding with me and say, what's wrong with you? Because when I see that line, the state line, I start sweating and getting nervous. What's wrong with you? Because I still had that in me. I was not supposed to be crossing the state lines. And eventually, of course, I got over it. But I'm just telling you, what if you have been traumatized? What if you have been exploited and abused for generations? What if you are a people of abuse, a people of exploitation, a people born in trauma? You can't tell the descendants of slaves born in America having dark skin, you can't tell black people, get over it. Get over it. Why? Because you got a pretty car or education. That's not what trauma is about. Trauma is mental injury, mental disorder, mental impairment. Just because you have a car, just because you play basketball, make $1 million, that does not mean that the people have gotten over trauma, because you still see signs of it all day long. Just because they can seem to function does not mean they are over trauma. The very fact they want to marry their enemy and their children shows you they are not over trauma. They are still deep down inside still a slave. And we are born in trauma. You had a period of trauma, exploitation, and abuse that lasted over 300 years. And children, babies, was born into abuse, born into trauma, born into mental disorder, born into an unnatural situation because slavery is unnatural. And this is not to speak of the trauma black people had to deal with during Jim Crow, the black code laws and all the other abuse. And then these, oh man, whoo, these devils, these beasts keep telling you and me to get over it. Yet and still, you have Jewish people. They talk about the Holocaust every chance they get. Nobody tells them to get over it. I dare you. Go ahead and go out here and tell Jewish people to get over it. They still know they are Jews. You have all these dark-skinned people running around here, nothing but Europeans with dark skin, having no idea because you've been through trauma. And when you go through trauma, when you go through abuse, you lose a part of yourself. And black folks in this nation have lost whatever people they come from, we have none of it at all. And so you think because somebody has $1 million basketball contract or going around the world making millions of dollars singing and have a TV show, or they the vice president of some corporation, you think they have healed because of things? No. Again, just the very fact they want to be around and love their abuser should tell you they still are suffering from the effects of trauma, exploitation, and abuse. They still believe they are slaves. Yes. Just like, even though I was free, I was still afraid to cross that line. Here you are, black folks, and you still afraid to cross certain lines. You're afraid to talk to Caucasian people in a certain way because you think Massa gonna beat you. And Massa will beat you. And the thing about it also, get over it. But the abuse has never stopped. Killing our young people in the streets. We are still discriminated against. You're still putting us in these jails and prisons for little or no good reason. The trauma and abuse continues, and you keep telling us, get over it. You are woo. I wish there was a God. I wish that there was some superior being that could bring us justice. Because that superior being would come down here and destroy and beat y'all ass. Because you deserve it. You're a bunch of evil demons. Get over it. That shows you they have no conscience. They have no heart. Even in the mental institutions, a lot of those doctors, they have no empathy. I'll be happy to get over your nasty self. Jot down your comments. Let's talk about it. Until next time, love, peace, and